It's Sunday night and we're going to make an early start on getting some stuff out of the emergency shed. This is episode 23 and I'm getting an early start because next week, well, in a couple of days, I'm going to start working on the huge big workshop deal that I've just done. For those that have been watching, there was a hiccup, but we're all good to go now, so keep an eye out for that one. Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. We've been pushing ourselves to get quite a lot of stuff out of this shed because I need to make some space. As you just heard, I've got lots more to go through, and admittedly there's a bit going to come home. Let's go and have a look and grab some boxes. Now, no one can tell Christine that we're going to be bringing some of the stuff home from this shed because she wouldn't understand. Yes, she would. I'm just joking. She encourages me sometimes, which probably doesn't help. Okay, it's we're running out of light, but you should be able to see here. We finished off that box, that tower of milk crates, which was in front of that fire extinguisher. We're really making some good headway. Let me step back a bit. We'll get a bit of a focus. And we've got a solid wall of boxes to go through. I'm not going to try and get anything out of that rack on the side there, probably because it's going to be almost impossible. It's all interlocked and it has to come out the front of it. Let's tackle the clear box on top there. It looks to be a bit of electrical stuff and a bit of random stuff. The Australia Post box there, I think, has workshop consumables and bottles of stuff. So yeah, we should be able to go through that pretty quick. I don't know what's in that pink crate there. Could be some old tools. Let's aim for those three and see how we go. Yeah, this one is a mixed bag. We've got some electrical, we've got, looks like a bit of plumbing. Yeah, we'll go through that shortly. Probably not much value, but we've got to clear it up. We've got garden sprays, workshop consumables, all bottles and cans of stuff. Some of it will be handy, some probably won't be any good. WD-40, always useful. This crate is very heavy. We've got some old tools and some cast iron stuff, so that'll be interesting. I'll put that down there for the moment, but there's one bonus thing. This old toolbox was on top of that crate, which we couldn't see before. We'll do that as well. So we've got a fair bit to get through. Let's look in the first plastic crate. This one. All right, I'm trying a slightly different angle with the camera, so hopefully we're okay. A bit of a mixed bag in here. What do we got in this bag? They're washing machine feet, adjustable feet. And that's actually a blank to blank off one of the water inlets. They're probably still actually handy. I used to repair washing machines. I don't fancy getting into it again. They've still got the rubber feet on them, which often go missing. I'll put them aside because I'm likely to turn up other washing machine stuff, and I may as well sell it through the shop. Someone will have a use for it. I certainly don't plan on repairing washing machines anymore. A scraper. These are pretty handy. This one's been well used. The blade doesn't look very good. Just in the $1 box at the shop. A gas line hose. This is probably for one of those gas stoves, the camping stoves. It's a Primus one. Now the hose will be perished. It doesn't appear to be broken, but if you stretch it, you do see a lot of fine cracks, so not safe to use. I will probably just rescue the brass fittings off that, and they can go in the scrap brass bin. Electrical, nice vintage Bakelite electrical. You guys know I like this stuff. There's a collar that suits. So that's a nice light fitting socket, similar to what I used recently for my dim bulb tester. They're certainly saleable. And I'll have a box at the shop, probably $5 there. Likewise, the Bakelite switches, I'll clean that up, that'll be $5. We have a little bit of a fuse box here. I cleaned some of these up in a video a while back. I think it was one of this series, and I shall do the same with this because I was getting 20, I've sold most of them. I think there's one or two left, maybe one, and they sell quite well. I've been getting $20 for them. All I do is give them a really good wash and then spray them with a clear lacquer once they're all nice and clean, and they come up nice and glossy, and yet they still look vintage. So yeah, nice piece. You do have to be careful. The backing board probably has asbestos, but if we're not filing it and not drilling it and sealing it with a clear lacquer as a display item, it's perfectly fine. So a little bit of a quick clean, there's $20. All right, random plumbing fittings. I've got a huge box, well, I've got 2 boxes of those. That's a broken saucepan knob. I've got 2 boxes of these poly plumbing fittings that came from the farm in our recent trip, and I've put them at the shop at the moment, and I've got $10 per box. I'll just add these to the top of the boxes just to give slightly better value. There's no sense me keeping those here. Some large fuses. Oh, here's another fuse board. Alright, that one's been broken. So I'm going to take the switch off it. The asbestos board has been broken, so I'm going to be very careful with that. I'll take the switch off and I'll rescue the fuses, but I'm not going to try and sell that one. We have some wooden blocks that suit the old Bakelite fittings, whether they be the actual light assembly like that one or simply a switch. They were just mounted on the wall, probably date from the 30s, 40s and even into the 50s perhaps. And quite often the wiring, these old house wiring ones, the wires didn't even necessarily go into the wall cavity. Sometimes they just went up the wall in some conduit pipe. But the wood blocks will be handy. I have sold them before. I know I've got a whole box of them somewhere unused. So I'll just take the switches. I'll sell the switches separately. There's more switches in here. And we will put a price on all these wooden blocks as well. Oh, there's lots of switches. Very good. Slightly different styles. That one needs a bit of a spray of contact cleaner. So that one's HPM, Australian made. This one's a more common sort. I think it's probably ring grip. I can't see a brand on it. It is ring grip, yes. That's by far the most common. That one's HPM again, slightly different style. And another ring grip one. But $5 each on these. They just need a quick clean. Spare fuses. I do sell those in the shop as well, even though they're probably illegal to install in your house nowadays. I find that they still sell. I don't know what people do with them, whether they just collect them or whether they set up a vintage electrical display. Some houses and some sheds still use them, but I think you're supposed to replace them with a circuit breaker these days. Here's a nice Elmaco white Bakelite plug. I sell these as well for about $5. The guys that restore old radios and vintage electrical appliances love to get original Bakelite fittings for them. So there's quite a bit of value here. That's a light fitting from a ceiling where it would have just had I haven't got one here. It would have just had a cap, a bit like a switch cap, but slightly different. And the cord hung down from the ceiling with your light on it. So I've got a box. I'll put this in with a box of fittings at the shop. Lots more switches. That's great. We'll have to add all those up. More switches and another light fitting there, still with the original screws in it. A double adapter for light sockets, the old bayonet style light socket, so you could plug that into your light socket and then you could actually have one light globe and use one of these adapters into the other socket, and you could actually run an electrical appliance like say a shaver or something just with 2 wires. You obviously don't have an earth, so yeah, I don't think people use these anymore, but I put them all in a box at the shop and occasionally they sell. We have some switches as well without the, oh, there's the wall plate. So that's a nice Art Deco light switch. Seems like it needs a spray of lube as well. So these all sell quite well. Oh look, that's a bolt from a 22 rifle, I think 22 caliber. It's well and truly seized up. I think I'm allowed to sell that. I know I'm not licensed to sell firearms or ammunition, but I think I could sell a part of one. Big fuse, more light switches. Alright, I'll sort the rest of this out and we'll get back to you with a notepad when we're finished and work out what we're going to do with it. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, there's nothing else unusual in here, just switches, old PowerPoints, just random electrical stuff. Oh, that's interesting. What's that? That's a block of metal. It feels metal. Feels like brass. It's got a Z or a Z on that side. Circle, I don't know what that is. We'll have to give it a clean up and a bit better look at it. Okay, back to this job. It's the next evening. I've sorted everything out. I've cleaned everything up from this box of electrical bits. There's the fuse board cleaned up and sprayed with clear lacquer, and it's come up fantastically. so we should be able to get 20 for that. Random plumbing fittings I'm just going to add to a box, as I mentioned. I've also got a box of random modern electrical stuff, which I'll add those to, so I haven't valued those at all. Little bit of rubbish, but not much. The washing machine parts, I'll just put in a box full washing machine parts because I think there's more here, and I'll just sell them in one bulk lot. The fuses, I priced the complete ones at $5 each. The other ones, I think I'll just keep spare because I'm often turning up bases, so I can make them up then. And I'm not going to keep a lot of them, but I do think I have a fuse board at the shop that needs one of these ones, so I'm not going to price those. The wooden block at the back there, I'll put that aside because I know I've got a box of those and I'll probably sell them in one lot. These electrical, Bakelite electrical bits here, I have got a box of assorted ones in the shop for I think $2 each or something. That's where they all go. I've priced the light fittings here on their individual blocks at $5 each. I've priced the Art Deco flush mount switches at $5 each. And I've priced all the round switches, which have cleaned up nicely, and they all work well. I've given them all a bit of a lube, and also the plug. So they're all $5 each as well. So that's going to add up to a fair bit. There wasn't much else, just a scraper in the dollar box. This is going with the e-waste. That other switch was broken. There's some random little bits and pieces. Some will go in hardware jars. There's some copper wire off the back of the fuse boxes, a little bit of number 2 copper wire, some brass fittings, an old swing over latch, probably off some sort of food safe, cool safe, but it's badly corroded. That's just going in with the irony aluminium. A little bit of steel, and these bits I will keep because I am looking for parts for them, and I don't have the rest of that switch. It's an unusual one, but as I said, I'm always turning up Bakelite fittings and I need various bits to make them complete, so that's where they're going. So where's the price list? Right here, $115 worth of stuff, fairly easily I would think, and quite a bit of leftover little bits and pieces, so that's not bad out of that box. Let's get into the next one. Oh wait, 3 things I forgot to mention. The rifle bolt, I don't know if I can legally sell it or not. I've been thinking I don't want to put it in the shop in case it is illegal to sell those without a gun license, so I might check on that one. This mysterious block of metal, I believe, is actually a block of zinc, which I'm assuming that's what the Z stands for, or the Z stands for. It's non-magnetic. It feels like brass, but it's not yellowy at all. I think that's just a sample block of zinc, maybe from a school science class. I don't know. Anyway, pretty cool. I might just keep that around as a paperweight for now. And this little badge was cute. It's Malvern Motor Mower badge, and they must have made these lawnmowers in Melbourne, South Melbourne, Malvern Engineering. So that's pretty cool. I reckon a lawnmower collector would like that badge. I'm going to put $5 on that one, so that adds another 5 to our tally, makes $120. Okay, let's get on to this next box quickly. I didn't like the camera angle from the last one, so we're back to this way. Hope this is all right. We have some workshop consumables, garden stuff. There probably won't be any real value in here because I'm probably going to keep it all because I use it and it saves me buying it. We do use a bit of glyphosate, which is Roundup, or sold as Roundup. I don't like using a lot of chemicals in the garden, but I do use a bit of Roundup occasionally, so we will use that. WD-40 is always handy. I don't know what's in that. Looks like some polish that's totally dried up. Oh, here's the label. What's the label say? It is a polish, car polish, but it's well and truly no good, so that'll have to go out. There's another one here which hasn't dried up, but it's pretty murky looking. I think we'll throw that one out as well. And I don't fancy tipping the inside, the contents out just to recycle the bottle, because you don't know what, if it's a lot of cleaning products and silicons and stuff, you don't really want it in the soil. So I'll put that with a box of chemicals I have to dispose of at some stage. There might be more to go in that. What have we got here? Borax. I think we use borax when we're the guys that do a lot of melting of metals and pouring ingots. I think they use borax as a cleaning agent, or I'm not sure of the proper term, but it gets rid of impurities in the metal. So I'll keep that in case I ever get into melting. Handy glove. I do use gloves occasionally. Not very often, actually. Oh, some more glyphosate. So I probably don't need too much. I might be able to sell some of it. It's pointless me having a cupboard full of it. I don't use that much. Leather balsam. Well, I have been known to use a leather restorer on old cases and things. Leather rejuvenates quite well if you give it a bit of care, so I'll probably use that. Silver polish, I use that as well. And kerosene, I do keep kerosene, methylated spirits, and all those type of... Oh, there's more here, more kerosene. I use them for various things around the workshop. I also use a little bit to light the fire regularly, so that's kind of handy. Saves me buying fire lighters. Oh, more kerosene. We've got plenty of that. What do we got here? Drano for cleaning out the drains. So I think that's just a caustic. Some sort of caustic solution. Well, everyone needs to clean their drains at times. Saves me buying it. There's some lighting kerosene, hardly any left, so we'll use up that for lighting the fire, and the bottle can then go in the recycle bin. Some Tarn-Off for cleaning sterling silver and silver plate. I have tried that. Well, it was nearly $15. It's not cheap. I'll try that. I have tried it before, and I think it works quite okay. Some more drain cleaner. That's been around for a long time, but still full and unopened. Oops. What's this one? Paint Doctor. Removes stuffs and stains. Okay. Oh, it's for car auto paint with Carnauba wax. Now, I think that's wax is good for cleaning up, well, for giving a nice final polish to Bakelite, I think. Anyway, I think we'll probably use that. It still feels like it's all right. It hasn't gone hard. Aha! I've been looking for this. Well, actually, I knew I had it. This is something I used. Actually, I'm not going to tell you. You guys can guess. Oh, is it going to work? I think it's seized up. You're supposed to turn it, and a little wire comes out. All right, I might clean that up, and we'll look at that in another video in the near future. But if you know what it is, let me know in the... Well, I know. Let everyone else know in the comments. We have a bucket that's full, and what does it contain? Linseed oil putty. I wonder if it's any good. It actually feels soft. Wow, looks like I never need to buy putty again. Chainsaw bar oil, well, I use that. Not that I do a lot of chainsawing these days, but I do use it sometimes. And yep, that'll go with my chainsaws. An old cleaner here, not sure what it is. It burns skin and throat, do not swallow. Tackles the toughest job. Concentrated cleaning power. Prepares painting for surfaces for painting. It's a powder. Well, it's lumps, but I think it's supposed to be a powder. I'll check that out. I might use it. If I don't use it, we often give away cleaning products at the shop. Better someone using it than just throwing it out. Naphthalene flakes, that's for moths and silverfish, so that's worth using if I'm going to store any paperwork. More Drano. This one feels empty or it's set. I don't know what it was. I think there's a bit in there and it's gone hard. That can go with our disposable chemicals. And some stainless steel care spray. Interesting. Worth was made a lot of good products. I used to deal with them, oh geez, 30 years ago. I don't know what their products are like now. They used to be expensive, but they did work well. And that's full. All right, we'll try that on some stainless steel in the near future. And we have a box here that's fallen apart. It's Colosil for cleaning metal, wood, stone, concrete surfaces. Okay, well, there's another cleaner to try. I might as well try these things. It looks like a powder. I guess you mix it up. And a little plastic something or other. Oh, that's just the top of an oil bottle. Okay, job's done. No value here, but lots of good workshop supplies. And I've got a box back that I'll take out to my next shed clean out job. Okay, next box, the heavy one. All right, we have metalware, we have tools, we have all the cool stuff. We have funnels. Funnels actually sell quite okay. That's a nice older one. They often have a filter in the bottom. That one doesn't. Some of these were made by Willow, which were quite a well-known Australian... That is Willow. They made a lot of Australian kitchenalia, tinware. And can we get a vision of the trademark? Just trying to have a look through the air. Willow, there we go. Nice old funnel. I think I'd get $10 for that. A little bit of a clean-up. Doesn't need much. This one maybe $5. But yeah, for some reason funnels, metal funnels, sell very well. Okay, let's get through this. We have I think they call these a boat plane. Not that you necessarily make a boat with them. I think just because they're kind of a bit boat-shaped. Nice old timber one. That's pretty good. It's not split. It's still got the blade in it. And very simple adjustment. It's just basically a timber wedge. So you adjust the blade and then tap the wedge in. So not high precision, but that was carpentry in the old days. The guys were skilled and they knew what to do. I think that's at least a $20 plane. Nice condition, that one. Okay, we have a little coping saw with a blade in it. I'm not going to try and get much for this. I think I'll just put it in the $1 box. I get these all the time. I've got one here somewhere and they are handy. I remember using one at school as well. But yeah, actually, if I find a new blade for it, I'll put a new blade in and I'll put $5 on it because the handle's in good condition. Yeah, I think we'll get $5. Talk myself up there. We have a little grease gun. These are often, I think they were like motorbike grease guns. They were Takelmet, I think. I've never known how to pronounce that. Yep, that's the brand. So they did make a lot of little grease guns for motorbikes. They're always messy and dirty. I'll probably give that one a little bit of a wash up, but I'm always hesitant to put these in the shop because I go over to the tool section and find that some customer has pumped it and got grease over everything and made a hell of a mess. And I'm not going to take them apart and wash them out. It's too much trouble. But that one I'll probably clean up okay. Maybe I should put it in a plastic bag. So, I don't know. I might get $10. Grease guns do actually sell well. It's just always a pain to clean them. Okay, here's what made this box heavy. It's an old boot last, or a cobbler's anvil. That one's in pretty good condition. I have seen these branded. Very rarely you see them branded. This one doesn't appear to be. But I'll give that just a bit of a wash up. I'm not going to spray it with clear lacquer or anything. Although, you know, maybe I will. Maybe I'll give it a quick wash up if I get a chance tomorrow and spray it with clear lacquer so it'll look rusty but it'll be clean. They make awesome door stops, although if you kick them they hurt. They're not really that good for bookends, but they do make good door stops. So probably cleaned up with a bit of clear lacquer. I reckon we'd get $20 for that. Otherwise I'd just put it in the shop for $10. It's probably worth the 10 to 15 minutes to make an extra $10. Okay, we have a nice timber spoke shave. Timber's beautifully smooth. It's got a H engraved on it. Maybe H for Harold. The blade actually feels pretty sharp. So I'll give that a little bit of a clean up just to take the surface rust off the blade. It's probably got a brand on it as well. But that's a really nice old spoke shave. I think would probably go 20 on that. You don't find them in timber in that good a condition very often. Now this is another boot anvil, but there's another one in here too. These were obviously individual ones, and they would go in a round, like a holder with a rectangular slot that bolted to your bench, so you could just exchange whichever one you needed into the holder. I don't think there's a holder in here. I'd probably just get $5 each on these as they are, but if we had the set with the holder, we'd probably go 20. There is a little rapid hand drill here made in England, so just a little drill. It's quite rusty, but it does work, sort of. Probably needs a bit of lube. So the original cordless drill. I'm probably just going to clean that up so it's not so dirty and just put $5 on it. An iron. We've had a lot of these irons over the unboxing time. They regularly sell for $20. They make fantastic doorstops as well, and they make excellent bookends. And since I'm washing some of the stuff up and going to spray it with clear lacquer, I'll do the same with that one. We'll get our $20. I have a little pointing trowel for concrete, but that's pretty rough. Split handle, very rusty, straight in the $1 box. We have some files. These are quite rusty. Yeah, that's a fairly coarse one, but very rusty again. I've got a box in the shop with files, so I think for $5 a lot, I'll just add those to it. A nice old brass pad bolt here. That's quite a nice one. That will clean up well. In fact, oh, there's more of them. Another one the same. And a slightly different one. Oh, that's lost the pin. Alright, well, given that that one's probably more modern, it's lost the pin, I think we'll just put that in the brass bin, because that will be nickel-plated brass, and that can go in our heavy steel. But those two are much older, and I think we'll get $10 each for those. I'll give those a clean up. A old screwdriver. It is a wooden handle one, but it's pretty rough, and the blade looks a bit butchered, so that's just going in the $1 box. A cast iron spanner, which has well and truly been used and abused. That's a mess. That's just going in the heavy steel scrap bin. Oh, I don't even know what that is. It looks like a pattern maker. Interesting. So it's rubber. It's heavy. It's very, very heavy rubber. So maybe that is for rolling in paint and then putting like fake wood grain. That's my guess. If you know any better, let me know. I don't know what price to put on that. If that's what it is, I might put $5 on it, but I can't imagine what else it would be. Getting to the bottom of this box, there's some old pincers here that are very rough condition, just a $1 box for those. We had a nice mystery box. What's in the mystery box? Oh, drill bits. I seem to be plagued by drill bits at the moment. So I'll sort those maybe into a jar. Sometimes I just sell a jar of old drill bits. Oh, these have been well and truly butchered. Some have been broken clean off. Actually, I'll quickly sort them. Oh, that's a countersinking tool. That's probably nearly worth $5 on its own. Goes in the old brace and bit. I'll quickly sort these, and any that are too badly butchered, you just go in the scrap steel, and the others I'll put in a jar or back in this box and maybe just sell for $5 a lot. Another mystery box. I'm just sort of quickly checking for spiders as we go. Haven't seen too many lately. What's in this one? Oh, this is nice. A very nice little plane. And it's nice that it's been in this original box. It looks pretty clean. A little bit of surface rust. So that's a Stanley number 110 made in England. Still got the original Stanley sticker on the top there. That's actually a very nice... Oh, the blade's very sharp. I think I might actually keep this one. I've got a few planes here, but a little one like this, I don't think I've got one in good condition, and they are handy for a little bit of woodwork. Not that I do a lot. And that's just a really tiny little... yeah, I guess that's like a palm plane. Takes as much, might even take just a razor blade. Interesting. I might keep that too. So I do want to keep some woodwork tools here, and it's nice it's in its original box. Value wise, if I was to sell it, I would say that's at least $30, maybe a bit more, being in such good condition. I could check eBay on them, but I'm just going to keep this one here, so we won't write down a value on this. I'm not valuing anything that I'm keeping. That's very nice. Happy to find that. Getting to the bottom of the box now. Lots of old spider webs. That is a wool bale hook for moving wool bales around. They sell quite well. I'll get $10 for that. And we have a little grindstone here, a hand crank bench mount grindstone. Does it work? It's seized solid. Oh no, not totally solid, but seized up. It has got a little oil hole in the top. I think I might just spray some of that WD-40 we just got for free in here and free it up, because if that works quite well, we'd get $10 to $15 for it without any problems. So I'll clean that one up and give it a spray. That was instructions for what? Hang on. Very delicate. The paper's been soaked in oil. I don't want to tear it any more than it already is. Here we go, we're getting there. The suspense is killing you, right? It's a grainette, the Wonder Tool. Knotting, graining, stippling, embossing. Oh, this is the, yes. This is this tool. It's a Wonder Tool. The easy, simple way. So it's for putting grain from paint on your timber. I guess with stains and things. That's really cool. All right, that's definitely a $5 piece now that we've got the instructions. I might put that in a plastic sleeve at the shop so that it doesn't get any more damaged. And there we go. Our grainette Wonder Tool. Last thing in here is a tine from a garden hoe. They normally have 3 or sometimes 5 tines and they're adjustable. That's just a spare tine. I'll just put that in a $1 box. Finish this one. Everything's now been cleaned up and we can tidy up the list from this box. You can see I've given these a coating of clear gloss, and look how good the funnels come up. They look magnificent, and you can read the logo here much easier. How's that? So we've value added quite a bit to those with really minimal work. It doesn't take much. I just give them a quick scrub in warm soapy water with some fine steel wool, well actually a scourer in this case because they're a little bit scaly, the rust. And all you need to do is just make sure that there's no more loose rust on it, and the clear lacquer does the rest. So values pretty well as I mentioned. I did fix one of these brass pad bolts. It was a bit bent, and so we've got that fixed up. We'll get $10 each for those. Have a look how well this plane came up. Absolutely beautiful. I wrote down 25 in the book. I think I said 20 earlier. But you know, just looking at it now, I reckon I'm going to put 30 on that in the shop. It should sell quite well. And all I've done again is just given them a bit of a wash in soapy water. Here's the spoke shave. And then just wiped a bit of beeswax over them. I just use, well, whatever I get at the time. And I've got some furniture polish beeswax here. And it does really bring the grain out. It nourishes the wood. So 20 on that. I think we'll go 30 on that. I think I just said $5 for all those drill bits. I cleaned this up a bit, but it still doesn't work properly. So just $5 on that as an ornament. The grease gun I did clean up a little bit, and it presents quite well. There's no grease in it. I actually did try to pump it, so we should get 10 for that. That's all the $1 stuff. The iron came up very well, and as I said, they make great bookends because they stand up so nicely. Now, we've spared absolutely no expense in this demonstration for you guys. I've blown my YouTube budget for the whole week, and now we can demonstrate a little hand crank grinder either direction. And all that was a little spray of CRC or whatever it was, WD-40, just in the oil hole, and it runs beautifully. So we'll get 20 for that, I think. Where's the notepad? Right here. Here we go. And look at our total, $310. So we had about 120 from the electrical stuff, as I think we went through earlier. I added the mower badge, and there are prices we've just discussed. And don't forget the box we did in the middle. I've got a whole heap of products to use in the workshop and cleaning products that I haven't counted at all. And I didn't count that nice small wood plane that I got. So we've been through a few more boxes. We've gained some more space in the shed. We've got some more good value to put in the shop. And the extra bonus one for this time will carry over to the next week's episode, because I think we're over 30 minutes. And I don't want my videos to become marathons, although some of you guys reckon you'd enjoy it. I reckon most of you'd end up going to sleep. Something I forgot to mention in our last episode of this clean out, we had about $775 worth of books from those 4 milk crates, plus there was some record player head shells and a few other bits and pieces. Really good value, and I forgot to let you know what our total's up to. So if you add that in, as well as our 310 here, we're up to $4,670. So not far off 5 grand, and we've only gone about 5 feet. Oh yeah, maybe only about 5 feet. $1,000 a foot, 20 feet to go. That's looking good. I don't think that formula will follow right through, but you never know. So stay tuned and follow our progress there. I'm pleased we're making some space, and I'm going to commit to this. Even though I've got some really big jobs going at the moment, I still want to do this each week. So if I miss one, you guys better have a go at me. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. Bye for now.